We welcome in Giants tight end Kyle Rudolph. Kyle, before we get into the offense and the struggles and what else is going on with this team, let me know, how's it been with the week so far in Arizona, leaving from Miami, heading out there with your team?
It's been good. For us, it's a great opportunity for us to come out here. And, the old days of going away for training camp are kind of no more. So, for us, it's a great opportunity for us to spend a lot of time together as a team, some team bonding stuff, but also then getting ready to go win a football game against the Los Angeles Chargers. That's first and foremost the most important reason why we're out here, getting used to this time zone as opposed to being on the East Coast all week. Get ready to go win a game on Sunday.
And that would be nice. Now, to win a game, you indeed do have to score some points. I know that has been a difficult thing for this Giants offense, Kyle. First of all, why do you think you've had a couple different coordinators here. I know there have been plenty of injuries. Why do you think the Giants have struggled offensively to date?
Well, I think the biggest thing is if you look at our execution when we get down there, it's when you have to execute the highest, then the field is condensed, the windows are tighter, and, unfortunately for us, it seems like more times than not, we shoot ourselves in the foot, whether it be with a negative play on first down, a penalty at some point that puts us behind the chains. And then also I think you look at the confidence that we have in our kicker. A lot of times we're kicking field goals out past 35, 40-yard line because it's a guaranteed 3 points on a maybe fourth down that some people would go for because they don't have that confidence. So, for us, we have confidence it's an automatic 3 points, but it comes down to our execution in the red zone. That's the bottom line. I've talked about that on this show a couple of times. When you get down there, it's so hard to overcome penalties and negative plays because the execution is so much heightened. And, like I said, the windows are smaller, the field is condensed. And, for us, it's just about the players going out and making plays.
Yeah, you guys have definitely done a better job of going backwards than forwards in the red zone. And for me, Kyle, I'm looking at it. Now, look, I'm just a fan. I never played the game like you. But I'm looking at it saying, well, they need to be able to run the football better. Why? And I know you have Saquon Barkley, a great skilled back. I mean, is it receivers not blocking? You're a tight end who's brought in, I'm assuming, to block as well as be part of the passing game. Why the issue with running the football? Is it the offensive line? Is it the running backs? Is it the scheme? Why is it so hard for this team to be able to run the football?
Well, I'm not sure off the top of my head, but I think we carried the ball for over 5 yards a rush on Sunday. Obviously, when you get down in the red zone, running the ball is one of the biggest ways of scoring points. But, we've had times where we've run the ball really well. You think back to the Las Vegas game against the Raiders at MetLife, and, we pretty much won that game by only running the football. So I don't think it's fair to say that this team can't run the football. Obviously, we struggle to run the football, but, there's something to be said for continuity up front, injuries in the back end, running backs getting banged up. But to say that this team can't run the football, this last game carrying it for over 5 yards a carry, and, there's been glimpses of it that we can do it. So, part of running the football is staying on schedule, staying ahead of the chains. It's not just executing the run plays when they're called. There's times where, you put yourselves in situations in the games where running the ball is no longer an option, and that handcuffs you as an offense because you can't just, everybody would love to go out and run it. I think if we had the opportunity to run it 30 times a game, we'd find a way to be successful. We've proven that. But, when you get behind and you have to throw it, you can't just sit back and be patient with the run game because, the run games aren't always pretty. Played with a lot of good backs in my life, and, you watch them over the course of 4 quarters, and, early on it's ugly, 1, 2, maybe 4, and then all of a sudden late in the fourth quarter after you've worn them down time and time again and you possess the football all game, now you're starting to crack off these explosive runs. So, for us, that's part of it too.
Right, and maybe I should have said run the football consistently. You've shown at times, Barkley could break one, or you guys have had mild success, but as a team, and it's been going back for years before you got here, they just cannot run the football consistently, which I do think leads to other issues. Now, you mentioned going backwards, getting off schedule. That's a huge part of it. Why does something like that continue to happen? Joe Judge talks about it. I'm sure he addresses you guys about it every single week in practice. I'm sure everybody's sick and tired of hearing about it. We can't have penalties here. You can't go backwards in key spots. And then it continues to happen. Who is that on the players ultimately? Is it coaching not being able to get through? Why does that continue to happen week in, week out?
No, that's 100% on the players. The coach's job is to put us in situations to be successful, and as players, it's our job to go out and execute. And part of executing is playing penalty free, both pre-snap and post-snap. Pre-snap is 100% on us and on our focus, and then post-snap is just going out and playing with good technique. Certainly penalties are going to happen. They're part of football. It's impossible to say we're going to go out and play every game and never have a penalty. Things happen when you're running around, you're playing fast. But like you said, for us, it's really important that as players, we lock in some of these more critical situations. I think back over the course of our season, whether it be red zone or key third downs, all of a sudden we move back 5 yards, and now that 3rd and 4 is 3rd and 9. And, in this league, the percentage of 3rd and 4 and 3rd and 9 is completely different. And that's how you stall drives. One of the ways to play better offensive football is by getting more cracks at it, by being on the field more, by, converting first downs, running more plays. And, when we've had success, I think back to some of the games that we've played our best as an offense, we've scored a lot of points. That's the recipe for our success.
When you look at it, Kyle, you've been around a long time, and I know that, Jones is hurt right now, and you're going to go at it. Who knows if Fromm is going to be the starter or what's going to happen exactly this week? Nothing official yet. But when you look at Daniel Jones, what are your thoughts? Is this somebody who's trying to do too much? I know he's got a big arm, and he says the right things and holds himself accountable, but year 3 for him is supposed to be a make-or-break year. It hasn't clicked overall as an offense, not all on him. But I'm curious your evaluation of Daniel Jones from what you've seen.
I thought DJ's played great all year for us. Certainly there's been a couple instances that, a couple of throws maybe he'd like to have back. But, when you look at the body of work throughout the course of his entire season, he's been a bright spot for us. He's played extremely well, both throwing the football, seeing what he can do with his legs, how he can bring that dimension to our offense. You talk about running the football. He's as big as our run game as our backs. When you have to account for the quarterback and you have to fit an extra gap and account for an extra man, that makes things really, really tough on defenses. So, DJ's done an unbelievable job for us all year, and he's certainly the least of our worries on offense.
Yeah, well, good point. He's been the best running back. I'm not so sure about quarterback so far this year, but he's definitely been your best running back. And, Kyle, for you guys as a team now, you look at it, you've played 12 games here. Unfortunately, the Giants, you look at the standings, you guys are in last place. I know, I guess, mathematically still have a chance in the NFC to get in. What's that like trying to get up for these games? Now against the Chargers, a team that's very hungry, coming off of a big win last week against the Bengals. They're at home, so it's a big game for them. What's the mentality like for you guys in that locker room trying to go out there where, right now, the last place team taking on a team that's gunning for a playoff spot?
Yeah, we may be in last place now, but there's still football left to be played. We got an opportunity. Who knows what happens down the stretch? I've been on teams that have won their last 4 to get in. I've been on teams that have won 6, 8 in a row. So, for us, it's about being better than we were this past week and going out here and like you said, playing against a hungry Chargers team that's fighting for a playoff spot. But, we're fighting for a playoff spot as well.
Do you guys, Kyle, listen to any of the post-game press conferences from your head coach? Because Joe Judge, I don't know if you know about it or not. I'd be curious to see your take on it. After the game was saying there was a lot of positives in it, and he caught some flack from the media and fans alike. Obviously you guys struggled offensively to score points, but Coach was saying that a lot of good things happened. Do you guys get wind of any of that? Do you hear that? And if you do, what does that do for you as a group? You appreciate the support? Would you rather be held accountable and be told, what's honest about the team and that the offense really didn't get it done? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, what's honest is when you turn the tape on and you see some missed opportunities that would have completely changed the game. I think that's what he's talking about. You know, if you go and you watch every play of that game, there's more positives than negatives. Unfortunately, there's 3 or 4 plays that would have been game-changing, explosive plays that would have equated to points. And you know, to say that there were no positives in the entire game because those 3 or 4 plays we didn't execute on, you know, isn't really true. And then fans don't understand that. Media doesn't understand that until you sit down and you watch all 60, however many plays, and you know, you can see a lot of good things. But unfortunately, in this league, you're measured in wins and losses, and for us, we're measured as an offense on how many points we score, and we didn't do that on Sunday. So that's the way we're measured. That's the way we're looked at. But you know, to Coach's comments, there are a lot of good things on that tape. Unfortunately, like I said, the 3 or 4 explosive plays that we could have had that would have equated to points, we didn't make.
And then how does that work? So he's pointing out, okay, well, here are the things that we just missed. And, you know, like you said, sure, there were positives that maybe the fans or media, guys like me, don't see. Is it then just about, guys, you got to execute better next week? I mean, at some point, Kyle, you would think that there's going to be improvement. And I guess that's what's the frustrating thing this year is we haven't seen the improvement from week to week. Miami started 1-7. They have since won, 5 in a row, whatever it's been. They showed improvement. You guys have struggled, and it's been kind of up and down. You have some moments, and then, you know, not so many moments. So after you watch the tape and you go over the positives, where's the next step to getting better?
It starts tomorrow at practice. You know, we got to go out on Wednesday and have a good practice. And, you know, like I said earlier, the only thing we can do is go out and play better than we did this past week. And, you know, let the chips fall where they may. If we go out and have 3 good days of practice, like I said, out here in Tucson, everything that we're doing out here is to go get a win against the Chargers on Sunday.
How's the weather out there? Nice?
Although I heard the weather back in Jersey was incredible, so you know, it's not like it's freezing back there. So yeah, it's not too bad.
Yeah, it must be nice to be in Arizona this time of year. Enjoy it, Kyle. We'll be watching you on Sunday against the Chargers in Los Angeles. Best of luck. Hopefully you guys can get it turned around here, start scoring some points and winning some games. We appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Sounds good. Have a good one.